Welcome to the family with
Alex Bernard Rasmussen,
co-host Catherine Brandt,
and Andy Brandt Bernard.
The kids are here too because there are people in the line after the show at State Fair. What was that? Oh, Fawn Rasmussen, is that what she said?
Wow, that was
Ready?
the weirdest baby voice.
Say Robert Rasmussen.
There you go.
That's good. They introduced themselves. I'm glad to hear that. But there was a woman at the fair on Saturday,
Right.
that just said her favorite shows are the ones with Fawn and Sage.
See?
Well,
So there
relatively
you
soon, Ethan's going to be able to speak full
Ethan.
sentences
Oh my
on
God.
the air.
Nana, swimsuit.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Now.
We got to tell. I do want to open the show with yesterday because it was a magnificent day. We opened the show by going to the pool with Andy's family and Catherine and me, and had just a wonderful time. Ethan was so wound up about being at the pool and the splash pad and the this and the that. It was just fantastic. And then last night we met Alex and her family, and they began to roll down the hill in a blanket.
Yep, they started a trend.
They were a
hashtag trend right there.
They were a trend right there. Every other kid wanted to do it. So there were 4 different families.
Well, the other families were actually sitting on their picnic blankets.
Yeah, they were using the blanket.
And the other kids were like, they saw Fawn and Sage do it. So they started throwing all the stuff off the blanket because they wanted the blanket. And their parents are like, no, we're using the blanket. Well, pretty soon there was so many tantrums that they got the blankets. And I remember because the kids, we did this picnic thing last year. And the kids were rolling down the hill and they got real itchy from the grass.
Oh, the grass. Yeah, right.
So they were like, oh, if we rolled around in the blanket, we wouldn't get itchy. So they're rolling down the hill in the blanket and other kids are just rolling down the hill. And Sage says, well, he's going to get real itchy.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be itchy.
He's going to be itchy afterwards. So anyway, all of a sudden, all the kids are making themselves into burritos rolling down the hill. It was so funny.
It was just a wonderful, but it's one of those situations where I don't understand. Some people don't do those kinds of things ever. And I mean, it's your business. You live your life and we live ours. But what a wonderful day it was yesterday, spending time with the family, with the little kids, having a wonderful time.
Well,
I mean, those 3 kids had a ball.
I know, but we grew up in a generation where, I mean, my father, I'm pretty sure, found all of us children just highly annoying.
I suppose that's true, isn't it?
And unless you were doing something he wanted to do, like go fishing or whatever, he wasn't going to like make sure you had a good time. Not like we do now, where we a lot of catering to the children nowadays.
But I just love being around our children and their children, and I love it.
I think it's fun too, but a lot of people just don't. I don't know. A lot of people don't want kids because they find them all annoying and too expensive. So
I'm glad you kind of brought that up because I saw another study on that this morning. A lot of people, I guess. Well, they're not really. I'm talking about the next generation after Alex and Andy's generation because there'd be too big a jump. But a lot of people that you guys both know, and a lot of people, families that I know, they don't want to get married and they don't want to have children. A lot of people in that generation don't.
Well, do you think it's also a little bit of hopelessness about the future?
Maybe.
How everybody's the oceans are boiling and we're all burning.
People are being told that the world's going to end any second. So
yeah, why bring kids in?
Yeah.
I mean, I only have one friend that has never wanted children, and she's like, I would not be a good mom. And that's why she doesn't want kids.
How does she know she wouldn't be a good mom?
She's like, I just am too stressed out about my own life that I would not do. I could not be in charge of somebody else's entire. She's like, absolutely not. I would be an awful mom.
Well, and that's true. I mean,
so some
life
people
is way more stressful now than it used to be.
It is,
I think.
Yeah. Well, and being a parent is very stressful and it's very difficult and it's a lot of work. And she's just like, no, I couldn't handle it. So
I was never stressed out being a parent.
Yeah.
I handled it very well.
Okay.
There's no question about it. But no, there are a lot of people you guys' age that don't want to have any children. I always did want to have children, even when I was a little kid. And yesterday was just a ball. I just had a wonderful time yesterday because we were all family and we're all together. And I don't know, but watching a 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old, that excited just to be in a pool.
He's so
And then when
busy.
your kids got there, then he went really nuts because all
Mhm.
3 of them were together. That was magnificent.
I like how everything that he saw. So he's 2.5 going on 3, right? And
Yeah.
he's closer to 3 now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's only a few months away.
And at the pool, there's like a bucket of toys, and all the kids, there's squirt guns and different kinds of balls, and all kinds of stuff, floaties and yada yada. Everything that he saw that he didn't have. This is Ethan now. I want that.
Mhm.
And then off goes the
Oh,
thing
yeah.
that he's like liked, and then it's like, oh, there's a green ball. I have a red
Yep.
ball. Oh, there's 2 basketballs. Well, I've got this one. Oh, there's a different basketball. I want that one. It was that age is just
Yes.
pretty interesting.
I was very impressed with the parents though, because back in the day when I was a kid, if kids got that aggressive, even though they're 2 years old or 3 years old, if they got that aggressive with one another, the parents would go nuts. These parents handled it very, very well, I thought.
Well, I think all kids want to grab somebody
Well,
else's toy.
All toddlers,
Yeah, that's just what
act
they do.
weird. And,
Yep.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Scream at it.
Ethan whack a kid in the head.
Yep, he
Well, he
tried to
did.
take his ball and he just bopped him,
Bopped him on the head. He did.
And then Ethan also got bopped in the head. Well, he deserved it because he already bopped somebody in the
Yeah.
head. So
Just desserts,
But nobody was threatening to sue or, screaming or yelling or carrying on.
As a matter of fact, the dad of the kid he bopped on the head came over and picked him up and brought him to the basket so he could drop the ball in the basket. He went the other way.
Yeah.
He showed him kindness, which I think is
Right.
I never saw that when I was a kid, I'll tell you that.
Yep.
That did not happen in our generation. Yeah, I just thought it was a terrific. It was just a wonderful weekend. Spent a lot of time. Friday night we went to a wedding where
Yes.
Elvis married Presley, which I thought was great.
Elvis married Presley.
Those outfits, that was Elvis all the way, wasn't it?
I think it was inspired by, I don't know who. Maybe Alex knows. She can engage with the conversation.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
I can't even tell you. We can switch to this later, but trying to figure out schedules of children and myself. And there's been so many things that have just been shifting constantly. And
Why?
Oh my gosh.
Why are they shifting?
Let's go back. What am I supposed to figure out?
Michael's wedding outfit. Who was it inspired
It
from?
wasn't I don't think it was inspired by anything.
His
I
Elvis.
think
dad
it
says it was
just-
Elvis.
Well, of course you think it's Elvis. You think everything's
Well, he
related
was
to
wearing a
Elvis.
floor-length cape.
It was.
That's
Well,
very
it was
Elvis.
It
beyond
was
floor
v-
length.
and it was white,
That's
so it
more
was
like,
very Elvisy.
Who Vincent Price wore capes, right?
Well,
This was a cape. It was a coat cape.
He was like, if I button it, I look too much like a wizard.
Yes, he did
And
say
we were
that.
like,
Capes will make you look like a
we
wizard.
were like,
that's
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
pretty wizardy.
I think we should bring back the cape.
They
I like
had-
the cape.
I don't know. They had custom made wedding outfits because they
Yes.
both are dancers and they knew a costume designer and she offered to do it. And
Mm,
so Will had a regular shaped suit coat that was
Yeah.
white.
Mhm.
And it had like lace on the lapels, and then the back had a diamond cutout of lace.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, Michael had a long coat.
It was very long.
So it wasn't just a cape, it had sleeves. And then the front, it was like higher in the front and then lower in the back. So it's like kind of like coat tails almost situation, but it didn't have
Well,
tails.
almost
It was
like
like
a little
one.
wedding train
Yeah.
at the end. Yeah.
Which I think was kind of the intent,
Mhm.
like kind of a
Yeah,
combo
probably.
of like
Wedding gown.
wedding gownish
versus-
vibes because they
Right.
both had white lace. And so they were trying to tie in like
Mhm.
a little bit of traditional wedding stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it. I don't think he was trying to look like Elvis.
And it was done. We went to, what was the name of the venue? Summit Hill Manor.
Summit Manor.
Summit
Manor.
Manor.
Yeah, over there in St.
Beautiful.
Paul, right behind the cathedral.
It was-
Beautiful.
It was
Beautiful.
fantastic. It was definitely not like your average wedding space where it's like, oh, here's just one big room and everything's
No.
in one big room. Like it's a bunch of different tiny rooms.
Yep.
But yeah, it
And
was a very
so-
old manor house.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
The
like
Donaldson family built it.
everybody
Oh,
had
that's
to
right.
gather in front of the stairs for the speeches, and dinner was everybody just kind of went into their own rooms and ate, and there were
It was
no
a good dinner.
speeches or anything during the dinner.
Ceremony was outside.
Ceremony is outside, but you can do the ceremony inside.
That would be
you go down the
tough.
stairs. If you definitely would need a small sized wedding
Very
for
small,
that
yeah.
to be able to see. And then the dance floor, they moved all the tables out of one of the rooms, and like what would have been the sitting room was the
Right.
dance floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, my kids were up until 11 p.m. because they were dancing and
11
dancing and dancing. And they were
p.m..
so mad that we had to leave. And I was like, it is 10:15. You need to go to sleep.
Yeah.
They just wanted to dance.
And they had been there
dance
since
and
3 because they were
They had been there since,
flower
yeah,
people.
2:30.
Flower
They were
people.
flower people. And I was I suppose I still was the matron of honor because that's not.
I don't know.
They kept calling me like, you're the best
Person.
woman, the best person. I was like, I still am like the matron of honor because I'm the matron. That's
You're
the
married, right?
and I suppose I can honor him. I don't know. I
I
was
don't
like,
know.
I don't know what because there's groomswomen.
Right.
Sometimes people have, and then there's bridesmen that
Right.
sometimes people have.
Right.
But yeah, I was like, I don't know what my specific title.
No, but it was very lovely.
It was great for like the kids just ran around in the yard and
I
they played
couldn't hear
hide and
anything.
seek in the old house.
I couldn't hear squat.
Yeah, the ceremony was
The
they
ceremony
could've-
was outside, and we were over by the fence, which is right on Summit, which is a through street, and
Yes,
it's like
busy.
45 miles an hour, so it's
It's
fast.
a pretty busy street. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
right by the James J. Hill
Yeah.
mansion.
It's very close. It's like 2 houses and across the street down from James J. Hill House.
Yeah,
Mm.
so it's a very pretty area too.
Oh, yeah. It's really.
And the doorman's name was
Danny.
Danny.
We
I got-
love Danny.
Would you put?
I've
the
got
door
to
closed?
post a photo of Danny because
Danny's great.
Danny was the door guy who was also an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
And there was a homeless guy that decided to go set up shop at the end of the sidewalk.
Begging for
And
money.
Danny came out and he had that all business swagger.
He
And the guy
did.
took one look at him and he was like packed up and ran away. I was like,
What-
Danny, stop putting up with anything.
What is the first thing Danny said to him again? Or
Yeah.
something like that. That was
Exactly.
really great.
I know, because Tom was going to go over there and say something to the guy, and I'm like, I just think that you getting stabbed. I mean, I don't know if this guy's
Oh, so Danny could get stabbed, but
Well,
not me. Thanks, Captain.
Danny. It's his job.
It's his job. He knows how to do these
And
things.
I also
right.
didn't know if legally, because the guy was kind of like on the street / sidewalk, which
Right.
was also not the greatest place to be sitting in traffic.
Right.
And
Yes.
there were little children running around playing in the yard, and it just was like, this is not a good spot.
He was
for
just he was
you
just
to
sitting
be.
there with a sign.
I know,
He
but
wasn't
it just was
talking,
a
but
very
yeah, it
inappropriate.
was-
This is a wedding. Could you like let people just have a day of not having to feel guilty about the state of the world? Anyway, so Danny came out and took care of it.
Danny was fat. Andy, would you look up and see what the name of Danny's shoe shine shop is at the airport?
Well, we don't know his last
Yeah,
name,
we
so it'd
don't
be
know his
hard
last
to
Yeah, but
know.
he probably calls it Danny's or something like that.
I
There's-
don't know.
I think there's only one shoe shine stand out there, isn't there? I think.
It's absolutely no
I
idea.
think that there are several in different terminals, but
Andy
I
could
don't know.
probably-
He might own all of them. I
It
don't
might
know.
be Danny Givens Sr.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's it.
Let's
Is there a
see.
picture of him?
He's a very nice man.
God, he's just a great. Well, I got a new friend, thank God. He found out that I was from North Minneapolis, so we bonded because he goes, "Oh, he grew up in the ghetto."
Oh,
He was just a great guy. And then he
Oh.
goes, "Tommy,
And
I
he
got
was-
to tell you something, Tommy.
very sweet.
My wife is Caucasian." Like, I don't know why you had to tell me that, but good.
Okay.
I don't
I'm
know
happy
why
for
They
you.
either.
have so much in common.
Yeah, my wife's
Well, there we go.
Caucasian too, Danny.
Exactly.
What a great. We should have him on the show. He is a great
If we
speaker.
can find him.
Oh,
Well, I
we
suppose
fi-
we could find him.
We could find him.
Summit
Absolutely.
Manor would.
So what do you got?
probably-
Is it
yeah.
you? Did you
Get
find
him
a
a
picture of him, Andy?
I mean, I don't know if he really wants. Me
He's
to
not
put it
on socials. He's not on socials.
Yeah, does he want me to put it on the stream? Because it's the only way I can show you.
He said, I said, "Oh, you're not on social media?" He said, "No, I love the actor George Clooney. You know who he is?" I'm like, "Yes."
Mhm.
He said, "Well, I'm like George Clooney." I said, "Are you?" He said, "Yes." Because George Clooney is not on social media because he said, "Why should I give people access to me?" I want them to go and see my movies.
I
Fair
love
enough.
that. Okay, once you send it to my phone, Andy, and I'll
Sure.
look at it and tell you if it's the Danny. So
Okay.
you're probably right. We probably shouldn't put up a picture of somebody without their permission.
Without,
to do
well,
it.
yeah, we took a
Yeah.
photo, and I said, I think I said that I was going to post it on social media, but he didn't say anything. But yeah, we should probably
Yeah,
ask
social
him,
media
ask
is
him.
different, but being up on an international screen like
Well, social media is
podcasting.
also international.
Well, that's true.
So-
It is absolutely. But Andy's going to
I
send me a
don't know.
picture, and I'll tell you if it's the Danny.
He's
that we
he was
met.
just a very sweet
It's a
person.
great guy.
Yeah.
There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah. We lined up for the processional and he was like, I'm Danny. I'm happy to be of service. Anything I can do for you, I'm happy to help. Just let me know.
Just a
He was
great guy.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, he kind of helped the wedding coordinator and just made sure that there was no
Yeah.
ruckus or
I know Michael
unhappiness.
was like, they better be paying him
I
very
think-
handsomely because
Yeah.
he worked
Yeah.
so hard and was so
Is
wonderful.
That, that looks like an older version of him.
Well, that's not possible.
I can't really tell if that's
Well,
him or
I
not.
don't remember
It
him-
could be.
I don't remember him having glasses on.
And he also didn't have a beard.
Well, that will change someone's appearance.
Yes, it certainly will.
Yeah.
It could be him, but I'm
Well,
not
it'll be
really
a
sure. that
different
it's
Danny
him or
who
not.
owns a shoe shine at the
Well,
airport.
this is him. So you want to compare?
Here, why don't you do that? You make the call.
Wow.
Here.
Yeah.
you
Well,
tell me.
okay then.
Well, no, it's fine. It's fine. We just want to, respect someone's privacy. If he doesn't want to be shown on the show, I think we should have him on the
I have
show.
a hard time telling.
Yeah, you can't really tell if it's him or not. It could be him, but you can't really tell if it is him.
I don't know.
I could mention something while she's looking at the pictures.
I don't think so. Different nose,
Oh, yeah, so it's a
different
different guy.
forehead. Yeah, I
It could
think
be
it's a
his
different-
dad, actually.
I don't know.
That could be.
It could be, yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
just.
But there was a during the wedding at the very end when we were going to say goodbye to William and to Michael,
Mhm.
that Will came over and gave me a hug, and he teared up a little bit and said, "Thank you so much for coming. It was really nice of you to come." I was very touched by
Michael's
that.
face when he was walking.
I know, he
down
was
the
just like-
lawn. He was just trying not to cry. I'm like, don't start crying.
Yeah,
I've
he
got
did.
makeup on. I can't cry.
Exactly.
I know I gave a speech at the
The dance.
rehearsal dinner
Oh yeah.
because they just wanted to keep Will's dad's speech, the only speech for the
Mm,
wedding, because
mm.
they knew it was going to be longer.
Mhm.
So the Will's best man made a speech, and then I made a speech at the groom's dinner, and then Michael's dad made a speech at the groom's dinner.
Okay.
And yeah, every single time I looked up at either of them, I was like, it was like I just
Yeah,
have
you
to
can't
look
at
down.
'em. I can't look at
I
somebody
just
starting
have
to
to
cry.
look down.
Mm.
Like,
Can't
I
do
was like,
it.
I can't do it. But yeah,
It was a very, very nice affair. It
was
really
great.
was. It was
Fantastic.
just beautiful.
what do you want?
Oh, they're
But
whispering.
one of the very few weddings that Tom Bernard has gone to the wedding and stayed for the reception, part of the reception.
Part of the reception I stayed for.
Yeah, because you
you're
usually
absolutely right.
bolt during the reception time.
Yeah, I'm not a reception kind of guy
As soon as the music starts, what is it about the music at a
because the
reception?
drinking starts then.
For me, the music is just so. They always blast it so.
Well, they do,
loud.
that's
I don't
true.
feel like people get I don't know. I don't really see people getting that
The
hammered.
most
at
recent
weddings.
wedding
like
I
they
went
used
to, there was
Younger people, yes.
There was one lady. No, there was one older lady. I don't know, late 40s, maybe early 50s. She had definitely been drinking a bit
Where?
at the wedding Melissa and I went to.
Oh, she did.
I mean,
I'm not
Was
going to
it
say.
a-
I'm not going to
was-
say whose wedding.
Was
'cause
it an open bar?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the
Open bars-
bartender there was really good. He was like, I'd go up and be like, I want to try Southern Comfort, so make me something with that because I don't know what goes.
Right,
What does Southern
right.
Comfort go into?
Mm.
So he would just invent a new drink on the spot,
Oh.
and he made this one that was super good for Melissa that didn't have anything in it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Nice. Well, I just think that that's one of the reasons why we didn't have an open bar all night long. Because first of all, we had 200 plus people.
Yeah.
We had a
Yeah.
lot of people.
Mhm.
And a couple of our friends had open bars, and they said that it was a big mistake to have an open bar all night long because
Oh, it
people
is,
got
yeah.
so ridiculously
Yeah.
hammered,
Yeah.
and it was just kind of got ugly after a while. So we did an open bar for the cocktail hour, and then we hosted beer and wine. And it seems
Yeah.
like people don't get that hammered on beer and wine.
That's what
It's
we did. We did
difficult
it.
too. Yeah.
We did an
Yeah.
open bar during the cocktail hour.
Yeah.
And then starting dinner, it was champagne, beer, wine.
Yeah.
And that was it. Because, yeah, I've been to a couple weddings where I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, there's
This
a reason we
is-
specifically said no open bar at ours.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, you just don't need it. And especially sometimes family members will start squabbling about the stupidest
Yep.
things. And
Yep.
I've heard of weddings of my friends who brothers ended up fist fighting at the wedding
Oh, yeah.
because they drank.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like, I just don't. If you can't behave, then you can't have it.
Well, I mean, growing up, most of the events were at Howie's Bar on the second floor on West Broadway, just a little east. What is she doing over there now?
They're trying to mend their argument.
Oh, they're having an argument. Whoever heard of those two having an argument?
They were
Yeah.
having
They
an
need to get back
argument.
to school.
But
They
Yeah,
can't
there you
stand the
go.
sight of each other right now for too
yeah,
long.
just east of Penn Avenue, like I said, the building's not even there anymore. But every reception was at Howie's Bar, and we played when I was in a band. We played at some receptions there of people we didn't even know. Every single wedding that I went to there was a fist fight. Every
Yeah.
one of them. So I grew up watching fist fights at weddings. That's why I never liked to go to wedding receptions.
Well, I used to go to the weddings in Vesely, New Prague,
Oh yeah.
you know, that
Yep.
area, and it was all farming communities. So you'd go to the wedding at I think it was about 1:00 in the afternoon. It was a full mass most of the
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
So you were there for a good hour and a half for just the church service. Then all the farmers would have to go home and do chores, milk the cows, feed the chickens,
right,
do
yeah.
whatever that
Yep.
they had to do.
Yep.
So you had a huge gap. Well, we used to go to the cemeteries and visit the deceased because my mom was from that area. And then you'd go back to either the church basement or the VFW hall or the Veterans of Foreign. No, wait. What's the other one? American Legion.
American
Mm.
Legion, yeah.
So you go to one of those, and there would be volunteers. Like a lot of the farm women would volunteer. They would cook and do everything, and there was usually just a kegger. There wasn't wine. There wasn't a bar. There was
Yeah,
a kegger. People would
kegger,
just
yeah.
drink beer, and the polka band would start up, and everybody would dance, and everybody behaved, and everyone had a lovely time. I never saw a bad instance in all the weddings that I went to.
I will say this wedding, the last dance was at 10:30. We left before that because
Kids had to go to bed.
we were just like, we need to go to bed. And I was like, if I stay until the last dance, then I'm going to want to I'll help you pick up and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whatever. And I'd been there since noon and
Yeah, that's a long
everything.
day.
So yeah. I was like, I'll let the people that haven't been dealing with children all day help clean up.
Yeah.
So yeah, the wedding was done. The last dance was at 10:30 and they kicked everybody out at 11. And
Yeah, they
so it
said-
didn't go
yeah.
super late. And there were definitely people there were only a few people that you were like, you've had a lot to drink, but they were just dancing and having fun.
Yeah.
There was nobody.
They weren't taking swings at each
No,
other.
there were people sitting in one room and just talking and hanging out. There were people that were just constantly on the dance floor. There were people that were outside chatting and
Sure.
playing yard games and stuff. And it was just it was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of my favorites was once again at Howie's when the father of the groom and the father of the bride got in a fist fight.
Oh no, that's like everybody's worst nightmare.
Oh, it
having
was
a wedding
hideous.
is family
that is
members
bad.
having to fight.
It was hideous. Honest to God,
Ugh.
guys up on stage. That Bill and I never got it. The guy's name wasn't Bill. I'm just making the name up.
Okay.
I've never liked Bill, but thank God we got together for this. What do you mean you never liked me, you son of a bitch?
Oh
And they
God!
got in a
See,
fist
yeah,
fight.
there's the people that drink and turn into animals,
Oh yeah.
and the people that drink and have fun.
Yep.
Mhm.
If you're a drink and turn into an animal, you shouldn't drink at a public function.
No,
Yep.
you should not.
You shouldn't drink at a work function or any sort of function.
Nope. It's
Or
true.
ever.
Or ever.
Just maybe shouldn't drink.
And people must know that about themselves.
I would think
like
so,
when I
yeah.
get drunk, I get angry,
Yep.
right? Don't you think?
Yeah, you
Do
would think.
Yeah.
I had-
Because it happens all the time.
I had one drink.
Yeah, not
Well, yeah,
a lot of
well,
drinking
there's
Called
going on.
White Linen.
It was very good.
It's really good.
Whatever it was.
Saint Germain gin, something.
Yeah, I
don't
had
know. It
one
was very
drink and one
light.
glass of prosecco.
It was very light.
So
I had
Sage
3
walked
Diet
by.
Cokes. It was great.
Sage walked by. We can have Sprite whenever we want.
Sure can.
There was this woman that was like, our son wanted a Sprite, and so we walked up to the bar and we were like, we were waiting in line to order a Sprite. She's like, and my son was like, well, can you order it for me? And she was like, and then Sage just walks by everybody and goes, 2 Sprites, please.
There you go.
That's Sage.
No, but that house was absolutely spectacular. We didn't go upstairs. We were only downstairs in
I
the
went
first
up and
floor.
saw the area that they were getting ready. It's basically just an empty house other than
Yeah.
chairs and tables.
Oh, is that right? So
And
you
all
went up on the
built-ins
second and
stuff.
third
There's-
floor?
Well, the chairs and tables, I don't know if that's like,
No.
they own them or they do a party rental company. I'm not sure if that's like a third party thing.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I
But
don't
there's
know.
a back of the house that was closed off to everybody. I don't know what goes on there. Maybe that's like all the
Yeah, there was
prep
a
area.
whole big area.
Yeah.
that was like,
Yeah.
what even is that?
Yeah, it's
So
got
is
a
this on the
huge-
second floor?
No,
there-
when we were outside, remember we saw that whole.
When we walked
Oh, that
behind it
thing.
to
Yeah,
see
oh, yeah,
where
yeah.
if there was a garage or what was going on, but it looked like there was like a caretaker's cottage and it went on.
Probably the servants'
and
quarters.
you couldn't
I would
get back
think.
there though.
But what is
so-
it now?
I don't
That's what
know.
we were wondering.
I
Like,
don't know.
what's the deal there?
That
now?
place has to be worth a lot more than the tax value.
I think you'd be surprised about those old mansions.
just-
When the economy was
They're so expensive to
completely
maintain.
collapsed, those things were going cheap
Yeah, they were.
because the taxes are going to be crazy.
Yep.
The upkeep's
Upkeep is,
I can't
I'm
even
sure,
imagine.
just unbelievable.
And let's not forget when we got a block away, there was a guy by himself on the corner screaming at God.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
sometimes
homeless
you just gotta-
shelter right down the
Oh,
hill from the Minnesota History Museum where Alex had her reception.
Woohoo.
And they built a very large shelter and there's a lot of people with issues walking around that area.
He was very mad at God. I don't know. I mean, he literally was looking up, screaming
know.
F you and all that stuff. It was
Yeah.
quite the experience. But no, it was a really, really wonderful wedding. They did a nice job. And like I said, Will teared up a little bit when he was talking to me about. I think he was surprised that I would. I don't know why. Well, it's because the Star
don't know
Tribune
why.
said what they did. No, but
I don't think Will knows about what the Star Tribune.
no, I don't think he
said.
does. But I've been through that a lot, and people are surprised because it was total 100% bullshit. I'm not like that about any
Well,
of that stuff.
If you Wikipedia still has a bunch of garbage.
Now, how
on
can I
it.
get that off of there?
I don't
You can't.
you not really know.
I thought they you could pay people to get it off.
I
there.
think you
No.
can do
You
it.
can edit it,
you-
but then the
you-
person that really wants it on there can put it back
Well,
on.
why can't I sue somebody? Because it's a flat out lie. All of
I
it.
think when you're a public figure, you just have to
Yeah.
put up with character assassinations.
Yep.
Well,
Sure
just-
do.
What? It's just
Thank you, Supreme
ridiculous.
Court.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It is really weird. I know there. I think. Well, I've seen on social media reputation rebuilders or whatever.
Yeah.
Because there are marketing companies that just go after people and try to destroy their business.
I know they
They do that all
They
the time.
absolutely do.
And so there are people that can put a stop to it. But I don't know if when you're a public figure, if you get any protections whatsoever.
But I just
I don't know.
We were the first morning show in the country to have people who are going to, go from one sex to the other,
They don't care.
talking about why. But
They'll never care.
why wouldn't that show that I am not what they said I was?
They don't care.
Because they don't care. Because somebody decided that they hated you and they made their life's mission to harm you.
But
And
I don't
that's just what
understand
people
why.
do.
I don't hate anybody. Why would I care about what you live your life? I live mine.
That's not
You
how
stay away-
everybody else lives.
Again, you stay away from the kids and the dogs. I'm happy. You're good to go. Good for you.
That's just not how everybody operates.
Nope.
So they're that mentally ill.
I think it is a mental illness.
It
to
absolutely is
go
mental
be
illness.
obsessed about one person and what their role in life is. I mean, my
But no, I
God.
had-
There's a lot of people like that, though.
Yes.
I had a great time at that wedding. You know, who knows? I don't go to many weddings, and I certainly don't stay for many receptions. But I had a great time just watching your kids running around, just having a ball with all those other kids, and then Fawny had made a couple of friends for life. The way it looked,
No, that little girl, the 3-year-old girl
Oh,
from
she
Alaska.
was so damn cute.
she really was.
Fawn's like, I told her my name a few times, and she just kept running around like, friend,
Friend.
friend.
So you want to play?
So you want to play?
And then Sagey always finds friends. He found a friend yesterday at the picnic.
Sage finds a friend everywhere he
He
goes.
does wherever he goes.
Sage had
Yes.
a
Think
purple
that's something.
suit on.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Oh my
he had
God, it
purple.
was so dang cute. And he comes up to me, he's like completely sweaty looking. He's like, I'm playing Rough House. I'm like, I could not tell by the fact that your knees
No.
are completely covered in grass stains.
Exactly.
Your tie has grass stains and your shoulder has grass stains.
Everything.
I'm
was
guessing
wonderful.
you've been
Sweaty.
playing Rough House.
Yes.
Met a bunch of listeners there. There were
Yeah.
one of the women at the wedding said she listens to every show that we do here.
Yes, hello.
which is very nice.
Hello to you.
So hello to you.
And I
It's
just
very nice.
realized this is a Behringer cup.
It's for wine.
I am drinking coffee from it. I'm not having wine in the morning on the podcast.
Yeah, it's still
It actually is a nice little coffee cup.
It's Labor Day week.
Yeah,
Let
Oh,
loose.
that's right. I got a 3-day weekend coming up. Oh, I used to take the entire week off.
Well, we used to always go on a trip right around
Yeah, we
now
did.
because it was in
We did,
between
yeah.
ratings. So
Mhm.
we.
Yep.
It's also it is a good week if you don't have children to travel because most colleges and schools are back in session. So when you
Mhm.
travel, things are much quieter,
Yeah.
less
that's
expensive.
true.
And it sort of can be the shoulder season if you're going into like northern Europe or anywhere north, like even Canada, because it's not cold up there quite yet. You generally don't have a lot of snow and things in beginning of September.
Right.
I mean, you can in the mountains late September start having snow,
Hmm.
but it is a good time to travel.
But all in all, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it was just a magnificent weekend. Spent a lot of family time together, which
Yes,
we love.
did. And it is definitely like, oh my goodness, as soon as school starts, it's going to be like, hello, where is everybody?
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know figuring out our schedule is going to be.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. My kids want to do so many things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and technically we could, because
Well,
each
but you
thing
don't
is
have
on
to.
a different day,
I know.
but we don't have to. And it's like, do we want to just run the kids around from thing to thing every day after school? Because Sage wants to do flag football and basketball, and those actually don't overlap.
Oh,
So flag football is on Sunday, but it's done the week of Halloween. And
Oh, yeah.
basketball is only 3 weeks long, and that's 2 days a week in November. So those actually don't have any overlap at all. So I'm like, you can do both of those. I said yes to those. So I was like,
Okay.
they don't have any overlap. Flag football's on the weekends, whatever. That's fine. But then Fawn has dance, and that's 3 days a week now because she got moved up a team. And that's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Sage, we want to keep him in swimming lessons because he's finally like being an independent swimmer.
yeah, it's taken him a while.
I scared him as a toddler.
Oh, it was your
about
fault.
swimming.
Okay.
Yes. Which he's just the type of kid that would just dive off of a diving board
Yes, he is.
without having any idea how to swim. So
Yeah.
I was like, I will scare you.
Yeah, you
Because I
guys
would rather have
actually
you.
missed that because you left. I think you missed that. You weren't there for it anymore. But yeah, Ethan Melissa showered him off,
Yep.
and then he just walked over to the pool and got in without his floaties on.
Oh,
And
How'd
she's
that
like,
work out?
no, you can't do that.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't
God,
know.
he
He
was
just
having
thinks he can swim,
Yep.
but he cannot.
well, I think he
Yeah.
sees the other kids.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
wants to be like the
He's
other.
like,
Yeah,
kids.
they do.
I don't need these.
I'll just go jump off the high dive.
Yeah, so we're like, Sage needs to continue doing swimming lessons because he only has one more level and then he graduates and then he's like officially you can swim.
Waterproof.
I was in water
Yeah.
wings until I was probably 5.
I don't know.
I remember them, so there's that.
I remember not having a hard time with you kids learning how to swim.
I think I just liked them because they made it easier.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like Sage, it's like we always like last summer, he really didn't wear them very much, but he wasn't tall enough to touch either. And so I was like, you can swim for a little bit because he's been in swim lessons for a while. So I was like, you can swim for a little bit, but like you have to tread water the entire time you're in the pool.
Yep.
If you're
It's
not
exhausting.
wearing water wings.
Yeah.
That's exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he like wouldn't really get in the pool much because he was like, I can't just stand in the water
Right.
at all. And I don't want to wear my floaties anymore. He hasn't worn them a single time this summer because now he can stand
Right.
in the
And
shallow
he's too
end.
cool for
and,
floaties.
and he is too cool for floaties. And he actually can swim. Like we went to my friend's pool that's small and not full of people. And he was like swimming across the deep end and
Oh.
like doing all the stuff. But then he'd go back to the shallow end and stand and play and jump
Yeah.
off and all this stuff. So I
Sure.
was like, yes, that's great. But at like public pools, it's just harder. Or not public pools, but like pools with other people at them.
Yeah, larger.
Larger pools. It's just like a little more nerve wracking because it's like you can't, they're not
think
right
all-
in front of your face all the time.
pools should have that 0 entry
Oh, it is
and,
nice.
you know, at least
That
yeah.
is
part
really
of it.
nice.
Yep.
I know.
because then
Yeah,
they
it
can
is
play
really
in
nice.
the they can play in the water and they can go as deep as they grow.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was okay. Yeah, swimming. What else was there? Oh, Fawn started doing piano this summer, and she's really, really liking it.
Oh.
And she seems to be catching on very quickly.
Okay,
And then Sage wants to start doing piano.
of course.
And then they both love gymnastics, and we really love the gymnastics thing that they've been doing because it's very low key. But I'm like, that's literally every day.
yeah, that's a lot.
Although the flag football thing and the basketball thing is they're both short and they wouldn't be at the same time. So we would have Sundays of nothing.
Oh yes,
Oh boy.
But I'm
One day a week.
I don't know. So I'm like text messaging or I'm emailing Dan like this is everything that they could possibly do. And like, should we edit? Like, what do we do? How do we feel? I don't know.
I a lot of parents in the old days, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, were like 2 activities. That's it.
But here's the thing.
That's it.
Even if they're in 2 activities, everything now, and I've had this conversation with like so many different people that kids are in a bunch of different sports. By the time they're in 3rd grade, if they have one activity that they really want to succeed in, it's 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Basketball,
Right.
hockey, dance, gymnastics, anything.
Mhm.
It's 3 days a week. So
Right.
if you do 2 activities, then that could be 6 days a week,
Well, then that's true.
you know?
Most kids after they start getting a lot of homework, they don't want that many activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I have some schools really pile on the homework.
Some schools do really pile on the homework.
Yeah, which I've
I know.
never understood. You're in school 6
Yeah.
hours a day. Why do you have
know.
to have 2 hours
So
of
much
homework a
homework,
night?
I
It
know.
just doesn't make any sense
No.
at all.
Sure doesn't.
I know. And and then with my job, went all summer not knowing if I was going to have a job. They're like, oh, we don't have the budget for teacher aides this year, all this stuff. And then all of a sudden the teachers were emailing me, would you be interested in being my aide? So then I was the aide for 2nd and 3rd grade. I'm going to split time between them 5 days a week. And then the preschool aide left because they were like, we don't have enough kids in preschool, so we don't need an aide. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, they got enough kids to have an aide. And so then they offered me the job to do that.
So
And then
parents
our-
really don't sign up for stuff until the week before school starts.
Yeah, Fawn
Huh.
just got a new curl in her class like 2 weeks ago.
Wow, that seems late
I
in
know.
the year. To
Well, you
make
were just saying that you
decisions.
were just talking to somebody. They're looking for a new school,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
it starts in 2 weeks. I know. I'm like, what is going on? And yeah, and so now I'm the preschool teaching aide as well. So I'm preschool 2nd and 3rd, and our principal is going, as of last week, is going on medical leave, and now we have a new interim principal, and we have to hire. It's just been like.
Yeah, there's always a lot of moving parts to schools.
Yeah. Like between the activities and dance and stuff, I'm like, okay, can we just settle on something so I know what our life will look like? but I don't know.
I have to ask Andy a question. Andy, you still claim you broke your leg playing soccer?
Just never gonna forget that, huh?
And then
You broke your leg for about 2 years. You claimed you had a broken leg.
Well, we were talking about growth spurt. I was talking with Melissa about growth spurts, and
He's
that
never gonna
Ethan is
forget.
complaining
Yeah.
a lot, and he also wasn't eating, and then he started eating like a horse,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
and he's been complaining about not feeling well, and I'm like, he's probably going to grow.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when they hit 2, they don't grow for a really long time. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden around 3, they have a little bit of a growth
Yeah, he
spurt.
grew like crazy in Florida.
Yeah.
And then he basically has stopped since then.
Yeah,
And
they hit
you-
a big.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
Andy was a big
Plateau.
growth spurt kid.
I remember.
You did not grow slowly. You all of a sudden like grew like crazy. And you were
Yeah.
always complaining about your bones.
Yep.
And I remember one year you were playing soccer and you insisted that you had broken your leg. I'm like, how did you break your leg when you didn't fall? You didn't trip?
Yeah, there wasn't like an
How-
accident.
There was not an accident. You
Bones
just can't.
don't typically just snap.
Like they can.
Well, they
Yeah, if you have brittle bone
you
disease.
did not break your leg.
Are
It
you
was
Mr.
a-
Glass?
It was definitely growing pains, and I tried to explain that to you, but you just insisted. Oh, remember when I broke my leg and you wouldn't bring me to the hospital?
I do remember that.
You said that for like 2
And
years.
that's why I have that limp today.
And I was just such a negligent
Yes.
mother because I
Uneven
would
gait.
not bring you to the
Mhm.
hospital for X-ray growing pains.
Never got that
Yeah.
fused back together correctly.
You know how I never went to the Olympics as a runner? That'll be why.
Because of the leg.
While your foot faces the other direction. Yes, that's
And then there
all
was
me.
me constantly getting stitches and breaking
Yeah, you
bones.
sure
Yeah,
did.
you were always
You
breaking.
almost fell off like swing sets and stuff like that.
You broke your head open like
I
3
did
times.
break my head open
Yeah.
a few times.
Ow.
One was a dog
Twice.
bite.
3 times, yeah. 3
Puppy.
times.
You were playing with
I-
a puppy.
I remember
I was
one
playing with the puppy.
specifically. You were leaving the barn
Yep.
during the winter.
That was this.
Yep.
Yeah, and you just slammed your head right
You
into
can
the.
feel.
It was.
She was
I
getting
remember
into the minivan.
Yeah, I remember it being like kind of absurd because it's like we were picking you up and you just like hit your head, and mom was just like, "All right, off to the hospital we go."
No, I could see her skull.
Well, I got a rock
I'm like, so
shoved in. it,
She's
and
gonna
then I
need
pick it out.
stitches on
Yeah.
this one.
Yes.
This one isn't a Band-Aid and a
Yeah.
little essential
I got
oil.
stitches in the
Yeah.
middle of my forehead at
Yeah.
the top, like right by my hairline. I slipped on ice
Oh,
at
yeah,
recess as a kid in
recess
3rd
at
grade.
St.
Although
Andrews.
I was doing the smart thing because there was a patch of ice and all these kids were playing on this patch of ice. I was standing off to the side
Oh,
because I was like, this doesn't seem safe.
hmm
And then a kid tried to do a back handspring and then
on ice.
bumped off on the side, but then bumped me onto the
what
ice.
was their name? We should sue.
Yeah, go after him.
And then I bumped into another kid, slipped and fell and smashed my eyebrow
Mm.
on the
Yeah.
ice, and I passed out. I blacked out, and then I woke up and I was laughing.
Yeah, that's
I
a
was like,
concussion.
That was weird. And then there's just blood, and I was like, okay. And I remember they did shave my eyebrow off.
Yeah.
To give me stitches, and the woman was like, "It may never grow back," and I was like, "Oh, that's
Oh,
lovely.
lovely.
And it did, but it grows wonky
Yeah.
on the side.
Didn't you break your arm at a swing set?
I broke my arm.
Yeah.
at Mama
Jumping off of
G's.
the jungle gym.
Yeah,
at G's.
Mama
I
G's.
vividly
Oh,
remember
that's
that.
right. It was
happening.
at Mama
Yeah, I
G's,
was in a
yeah.
I was in a
volleyball league,
yeah,
right?
we were in
Yeah.
a volleyball league, and all of a sudden Alex comes over, Mom, I think I broke my arm. And I'm like, there's no way
No,
you would
you
just be
didn't.
talking like a normal person.
See,
if you broke-
ignoring broken
She
bones.
lets-
It's a
She
pattern.
lets go of it and like starts swinging. I'm like, yes,
It was bent. You know, it was
arm.
bent
Bent
the wrong way.
I can
I'm
still
like,
bend
yeah.
it the wrong way.
Yep.
Because I,
I'm
I
like, yeah, you
shattered
sure
my elbow.
did break
Yeah.
that arm.
Well, because here's the thing about me. I have a very high pain tolerance, like shockingly high. And so each one of these things, I don't think there was any crying.
no.
For
No,
the
you didn't
broken,
cry.
Any of
you
it.
started crying in the car like 15 minutes later with the broken arm. It took you a
Well,
while.
I think it's
Yeah.
like that. I think when you initially get
adrenaline,
hurt,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
get
the
shocked. It's
adrenaline,
like a
yeah.
it's like a shock.
I remember
thing.
I cried too during when they were doing the X-ray because they had to
You
angle it like a certain
oh,
way,
yeah.
and
God,
the
yeah.
whole thing was absolutely shattered. Like I had to have surgery and pins and a cast for 8 weeks, and it was a whole thing. So I'm like, it was absolutely shattered, and they're like, we have to move it, and then I remember that being painful. 'Cause
I
it was
remember
like,
the one of the pins that they used had like a very large like
White.
ball at the
Yeah.
end,
yeah,
and it was
like,
a white.
yeah, a head.
And I
And
thought
so
it
you
was-
saw that and you thought it was your bone sticking out.
Mom,
Yep.
my bones are sticking out of my arm. I'm like,
Well,
I
it's
don't-
like,
I mean, I was
why
8.
use a white bone pin?
Truly.
I mean,
Like,
you know,
come on.
you're gonna scare the children.
I know. And like, I remember how small my arm was when they cut, because it was from my shoulder covering
Yeah.
up to my
yeah,
fingers.
you did
It was
a good
full
job
thing.
breaking that thing.
And then
Mhm.
when they cut the cast off, my arm was like
Atrophied.
so shrunken. It was
Yeah.
so weird. Yeah, I know. And I'm like, I'm left-handed. It worked out well because
Yeah.
I shattered my right
Why
elbow.
not?
So
Yeah, you tried to do the Iron Man 3-point landing.
Yeah.
You jumped off the thing and then
Spider-Man.
yep,
like-
landed with your
I did, and it
hand,
just
and
went-
that's all it took. Yep.
And then I broke my foot at one point.
God.
I broke my nose in a soccer game.
Yeah,
I broke, I don't know.
I think that might be
Fingers.
it.
I broke a finger once, I remember. I had to have that weird, like, metal
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the metal
squishy
thing. Yes.
on my finger in 8th grade.
All right, we've only
Yeah.
got a couple of minutes left in the show, so I got to ask.
We can't keep going on my childhood injuries.
No, it's fine. But I have to go get some water for that water cooler.
Yeah,
Where?
Menards.
Menards.
How about
Ah.
like Cub? Wouldn't they have it?
Yes, I think they do.
Oh, Cub. You think?
I don't
what-
know if they have the right size.
No.
The
what's-
one we have is like a weird
It's a
interim
smaller
size.
one.
Just go to Menards. There's
It's-
a Menards right here.
Menards has the size, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I mean, how do I know what size it is?
You take the old one.
Oh, you take the old one with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like I think the standards are like 4 and 6, and ours is a 5 or something.
You
Oh,
like
of
can
course.
Yeah.
fill them up at Cub.
that. You can.
You can, which we should start doing that. We should just
Yeah, so
start.
you can just reuse
It's-
the thing.
Are there two of them?
There was. I think the kids took one home.
No,
Or
I
do they
didn't let him
one?
take my home.
Oh
So I should just take two of them over to Menards and have them filled.
no,
No.
Cub, she said.
Cub
fills them.
refills them.
Oh, Cub refills them.
Yeah.
And you're sure they do have them there?
I have filled them up there
At
before.
the one right here?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll take them over there after the show.
Just make sure that you've got the plastic cappy thing. That's
Yeah,
not
so
been
does it-
They don't give you a new
removed.
one?
Well, last time I filled them up, they didn't have any out, but they went and got me one.
Oh,
So,
there you go.
No, I'm sorry. I just,
because
So that-
otherwise it'll just
So
splash
we
all
only
over
have
the
one,
place.
so we'll get that filled and then buy another one.
No, we have two.
If we
right?
only have
no,
one.
I didn't take. I did not let.
Oh,
them
you
take
didn't
it.
let them
I was
take
like,
it,
I don't
okay.
want that in my house. No, thank you.
All right, so I got to get that done today.
Yeah, I was
No
doing it
doubt about
forever, and I quit that job. So,
Sometimes you just have to quiet quit things.
and it took a year for someone else to decide to fill it up.
I always just bring my own water. And I'm like, well,
I
Yeah.
don't understand also why nobody ever told me, because I don't ever take water out of there, so I didn't even know it was empty.
Oh.
I found out much later that it was empty.
I've been telling people.
All right, any closing words?
The countdown to not being able to wear white after Labor Day, which is actually still
Wearing
a
a white-
rule up here.
wearing a white
People
skirt.
don't.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
down in Florida, people wear white
White
all
all-
year
yeah.
long. They don't
Mhm.
have any issue with it. But up here,
Why
you
can't you wear white?
it's always been some sort of a strange.
I've looked it up
thing.
and it made no sense to me, so I forgot it.
Was it like
Yeah,
a
it's,
religious scare things,
know.
I think it
off?
had something to do with like unions and they could wear
Unions?
white or I don't
Here,
know.
I'll
what
look.
it was. But the real
Some
rule is
deal.
don't wear white after you have a child.
Yes.
Yeah, because
There
there'll be
is that,
stains
yeah.
That's
all
right.
over it.
For 18
All right.
years.
Yeah, it's you can only wear white in Minnesota after Memorial Day,
yeah,
and then
between
and-
Memorial Day and Labor
yeah,
Day.
that's the only time. And
Yeah.
people really pretty much adhere to that here.
All right,
in-
ready?
in Minnesota.
The idea that white clothing is not appropriate after Labor Day originated in the 19th century and has multiple theories: separation of working classes,
Oh,
Oh, like the
migration
milkman?
from Newport mansions. Another theory
What
is
the
that
hell
the
does that
tradition
mean?
originated with wealthy New Yorkers who returned from their summer homes in Newport mansions after Labor Day, which switched back to darker clothing for the fall,
Huh.
signaling the end of summer.
Oh, end of tennis whites.
Yeah.
suppose,
Practicality. Labor Day marked the end of summer and return to the city, so people might want to wear more practical clothing instead of vacation clothes.
Here you have it.
By the 1950s, the idea that wearing white after Labor Day was inappropriate had spread to the general public with the help of women's magazines. However, some people,
Oh.
like Coco Chanel, famously wore white year-round. Others say that the rule is not very serious and that people should feel free to wear white as long as
Well, yeah.
it's
Well,
appropriate.
you should feel free to wear
Yeah,
whatever
whatever
color
you
you
want,
want
whenever you
whenever you
want
want.
to.
That's really stupid.
really
but you
should.
really do not see bright colors and things after Labor Day.
I made it a mission last year. I'm like, I'm working in an elementary school. I should be as colorful as I want to be.
Absolutely.
Because
Kids like that.
yeah, preschoolers, second, third graders love colors, and they were a lot of colors. So last year I was like, I am going to buy as colorful stuff as I feel like. And so now I have just like a sweatshirt with giant pink smiley faces and multicolored crocheted sweater. And I'm like, yes, I can live my dream.
There you have it. That is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Got a picture in my pocket reminds me of this rose before. Every time I hear the singing reminds me how you talking.